How you doing, YouTube? This is Will from Will Development, and today I am going to be doing a review of Wei Rui's, oh boy, blooper reel, right? Wei Rui's lifting shoes, which I have had for at least a year. I believe that's how you say their name is, Wei Rui. Now I'll put a link to the place to buy these. I don't remember the exact website I got them from, but they were probably the cheapest lifting shoes I've ever seen. And the reason I bought cheap in terms of money was because I wasn't sure if I was going to use them very often. I wasn't sure how often they would come in handy or how integral of a part they would play in my workouts. And needless to say, I made out really well. So initially when I got the shoes, I was happy. I have zero experience with any kinds of lifting shoes, but I do know what's required of them, if that makes sense. And the very basic things that you're going to want in a good lifting shoe is a platform that is solid, that doesn't really bend too much, and that's grippy. And since it's lifting shoes, you're going to want a very solid lift in the heel. That is the main idea behind lifting shoes, and the reason why they became popular versus, say, just boots, which also tend to have a lifted heel. I'm not going to get into why you should use lifting shoes. There's plenty of videos out there. I might do one of my own someday, but this is specifically about this pair or this brand of shoes. Now, as you see, they've got a lot of wear and tear in them. They've got scuffs, they've got scrapes. Everything about them shows that I have used them quite a bit and that I bought about a half a size too big, which I tend to do when I buy things online because I found shoes too big, you can still use it. Shoe is small, you cannot use it. And the fact that most lifting shoes come with a metatarsal strap really make it so you don't necessarily have to worry about it being half a size or even a size too big, because that metatarsal strap will really strap you into the shoe. Now these shoes were, I believe they were about $60 when I bought them. They may have gone up, they may have gone down. I'll be honest, I haven't checked to see how much they're running for these days. But I am very happy with my purchase, and I can say after a year of use in both squats, and I also use them when I do overhead press, I am very happy with the overall quality of them and the overall longevity of them. Now, like I said, I bought a half size too small, or too big, so you see the laces here have really scrunched up near the middle. I tend to have wider feet near the toe area, so no shoemaker really fits my foot all that well. But these fit nice and tight, and the metatarsal strap has lasted very well so far. None of the eyelets have ripped out, which is always a big problem when it comes to shoes that you tend to tie tighter, which I do tend to tie these pretty tight because I want to feel locked in. I want it to feel like it is just my foot but being lifted. And there is almost no padding in this shoe, which is what I wanted when I look for a lifting shoe. It really does feel like my foot is touching a new ground and I feel secure and strong. Now, you can get away with putting plates underneath your heels to mimic the effect of lifting shoes, but the bridge of your foot will not be supported if you do that. Whereas in a lifting shoe, they will tend to have bridge support, which this one does, and I'm so thankful because the actual bridge support is relatively padded. Now, like I said, overall quality of the shoe is good. There are some things that I personally have had a bit of an issue with. And if you look inside the shoe, part of the, let me see if I can get a good shot of that here. Part of the inside of the shoe, this was about 2 weeks after I bought it, started to come up on the sidewall of the inside of the shoe. Basically me sliding my foot in and out of the shoe caused it to rip off, which, you know, shows a sign of a cheaper shoe. But for $60, I wasn't going to complain. The strap buckle is made of metal, which is a big deal because, like I said, you should want to tighten them pretty tight to feel more secure. So I've seen some lifting shoes where they actually use plastic, and I've shopped around too, debating whether $20, even $100 more was worth it. And I gotta say, for what they are, it's as basic as it gets. And when it comes to me and when I buy shit, I'm looking for the simplest thing that will last the longest. And after having these for a year, and they still seem to have quite a bit of life left in them, assuming none of the eyelets tear on Monday when I do squats and overhead press, then I am very happy and more than overjoyed to have only spent $60 on shoes. I don't buy shoes. I don't. Every pair of shoes I own was either a gift from X person, leftovers. I mean, I was just walking through Goodwill and I was like, oh hey, there it is, pair of shoes. Oh, they fit. And I, $2 and I got them. I don't really buy new shoes. So it was a big deal for me to buy these shoes. Like I also mentioned, a good pair of lifting shoes should have a very strong platform that's very grippy. And even on surfaces that are a little sandier, like the garage tends to get, with either sawdust or the foot powder that I put on my legs when I do deadlifts sometimes, that actually cause things to slip, it's been very solid. I don't know what the heel of these are. I believe they're wooden. I mean, they sound like wood, but the side feels like it's covered with a rubber, which helps make them last a little bit longer, I think. I think that's why they may have done it. Not totally sure. Bottom line, if you're looking for a cheap, decent pair of lifting shoes that survive for what they're for, I've never run in them before, but for just general squatting or even overhead pressing, whenever you want that extra heel height, these are a great option. If you don't even consider them as an option, then what's your excuse?